Welcome to Manipur Files, and I'm joined by News9's input editor Brijesh Pandey. Brijesh, a very important meeting had taken place. All the lawmakers from Manipur were in Delhi. Kuki members were supposed to meet the MHA officials, but Amit Shah ended up attending this meeting. So, what's cooking in the BJP headquarters?
Well, I think, one of the most important political development is right now happening at 6A Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Marg, which is the BJP national headquarters. What we have gathered is all the MLAs from Manipur, especially belonging to the NDA dispensation. They all are at that meeting. And, Tarun Chugh has been appointed as the guy who is going to oversee this meeting, which is taking place right now. And they are going to elect the leader of the legislative party. And once that leader is elected, he is going to be the next chief minister. Now, today is 3rd. And the second leg of president rule is going to expire on 13th. So if there's a government formation, it has to be done before the 12th. So I think today a decision will be taken. Now after that, all the MLAs are going to travel back to Manipur. And there are several names which are doing the round and things like that.
Can you take us through the names?
Well, I think, there are 6-7 names which are doing the round. The first one name is Thokam Satyabrat Singh. His current speaker. He's a MLA from Jaiskul constituency. Then there's a name of T. Biswajit Singh. He has served as PWD and Environment Minister, and he is MLA from 2012. So he has the requisite political experience. There's also a name of Khemchand Singh, who's also former Speaker of Manipur. And apart from that, there's name of Govind Das, there's name of Basant Kumar Singh, and also a name of T. Radheshyam Singh, who is a former IPS officer. So these are the names which are currently doing the round. The strongest name is of T. Satyabrat Singh, which many believe the current speaker has a requisite experience of dealing with all the communities and the MLAs and good rapport. So these are the names which are doing the round. But nobody is completely ruling out N. Biren Singh as well. And it'll be very, very important to see that the next person who's elected, what kind of equation he shares with N.
Okay, a lot of people were saying that this meeting has been called, or the fact that these guys are allowed to come to Delhi is because BJP feels that it's better to go to elections with a chief ministerial candidate, chief ministerial phase, or a government in power rather than governor's rule, because it's going to impinge on them. So is this a correct, perception on this issue, that the reason why Home Minister allowed this is because there are elections down the corner? And how will you aggressively go to people if you don't have a government?
They don't want to cede the political space to the Congress party. Everyone knows what happened in the 2024 general election, and that was a setback for the BJP, and more so importantly for the Prime Minister, because ever since he has came into power, from May to 23rd, 2014 onwards, states of Northeast has been his topmost priority. Every 15 days we had seen one or the other cabinet minister flying down there, and the kind of rapport which was built between the northeastern states and the rest of the country, mainland as they call it, was phenomenal. And this violence in Manipur is something which torpedoed PM's otherwise very good record of reach out to the northeastern state. And this is one thing which the BJP would want to repair at all costs. And that is the reason why the BJP feels that now enough has been done. Now the time has come for them to form a government.
Brijesh, my whole question to you is, okay, enough has been done. There's normalcy. But, they have not been able to ensure that the two communities live together peacefully. A political party should ensure that the two communities live together peacefully. What has happened is there's an inner line, It's like a partition. So the Kukis live here and the Maitis live here. Kukis can't go to the Maiti areas. Maitis can't go to the Kuki areas. Yes, there is less of narrative on the drug peddler issue. There is less tension on the issue, for example, poppy cultivation, infiltration. Those topics of conversations are out. But I think the mistrust remain one. And secondly, I would say, even if you form the government, for last so many years, they have not been able to get their own Kuki and the Maiti MLAs to sit together. So I'm very surprised how will the House function? Because all these Kuki MLAs have been told by their respective community leaders that they cannot compromise on this issue. So I'm slightly perplexed. You can't manage your own Kuki MLAs. How will you run the government, even if you have
I think the interesting part is that, in north of India or in most of the places, you see that the MLA is powerful enough to call the shots. In Manipur, it's the reverse. It is the social groups and the society, people at large, who are calling the shots, and MLAs and MPs are forced to follow suit. We have seen what happened in Kangla Fort. MLAs were pressurized and they were forced to, MPs were pressurized, they were forced to attend, ministers and all to attend that particular meeting. Few were roughed up. In Kuki area of domination, it has been very, very clearly and unmistakably conveyed to them that if they join the government, that will be seen as betrayal of the community. Now, ultimately, politician draws his power from the community. And if the community has made up its mind that there's no way there's going to be any kind of reach out or political participation as far as Manipur is concerned, there's not much the MLAs can do. And this is the reason why the problem persists. I think the bigger challenge for the government would be to ensure that there's some sort of meeting of minds. But going by the kind of animosity it is there, it's highly unlikely that that kind of approach can be successful. You remember one thing, when we were covering, News9 has been at forefront of providing, the unfiltered and most unbiased coverage as far as violence in Manipur is concerned. But the fact of the matter is that, despite government lowering down the the decibel which was there on the poppy cultivation, as you were talking about, illegal infiltration you were talking about, but it has not gone back to what it was before that fateful night, when the violence spread across. And I think that is the biggest challenge which is staring at the face of the government. Many feel that that's an abdication of power of sorts. Many believe that what N. Biren Singh did was so a permanent divide between the two communities. I think that is going to be the biggest challenge whosoever get. I think it's a throne full of thorns for the any incumbent who takes over from N. Biren Singh.
What really perplexes me is that if all the MLAs are from, if I look at your list, if I look at your list, these are all these are all Maiti,
Yes.
these are all Maiti gentlemen. The government has to reflect all the shades, all opinions. So that's one part of it. But then how are you going to do? The writ of the government will not run beyond the urban areas, one. And secondly, the job of the government is to get people together on a platform, not to just be in power.
I think what the government is trying to do. See, they can't have a cookie chief minister. It's just not possible.
Cookie deputy chief minister?
Yes, this is what many in the government feel, that if they cannot give the post of chief minister, they can accommodate a cookie as a deputy chief minister. And even if not deputy chief minister, they can give them 2 or 3 meaty portfolios which can send out a positive signal to the Cookiezo community at large, that this government, this particular chief minister means business, and there has to be participation in power. Otherwise, without which it will be next to impossible for any government to send out a positive outreach to the community. And till that is done, Kartikeya, there's precisely nothing much even the new incumbent can do. So this is also being worked upon. The formula is also being worked upon, that can we make a deputy chief minister from the Cookiezo community, or give 2-3 very weighty portfolios to the Cookie community.
I think that's a very good workable solution. If the Cookies get the position of deputy chief ministers, or if Cookies get meaty portfolio, and most important of all, if the Cookies are also accommodated in positions they want. But I have to say this, that this entire issues of Cookie and Methi, these civil society organizations have not played a positive part.
Not at all.
Instead of getting people together, Cookies and Methis, on a common platform, they have created situation whereby say, if you belong to this community, you cannot talk to this community. If you belong to us, you cannot be them. And I think this othering of the other has been very, very problematic.
You have seen it,
and it has corrupted the narrative on
if you
Manipur.
see this very heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, incident where a Maiti boy, who had fallen in love with a Cookie girl,
Yes.
married, converted to be a Cookie, and he was so brutally killed. I mean, this is the real reality of the place. I mean, you can say 50 other things. You can try to, do some sort of a smoke screen on the exact situation which is prevailing on but that's the reality.
But I think the only silver lining in the dark cloud is, at least there will be a government. At least there will be, the Manipur will not be under the president rule, because you are not supposed to have a president rule if you have
especially when you have a completely 60 out of 60 MLAs elected and all.
When you have elected MLAs, when you have a majority. So we really hope in News9 that Manipur should have a government. The governor's rule is lifted. But once the government is there, it should be ensured that the people of every community are part of that power pie. They're part of that power structure. So this was the second episode of Manipur Files.